Today we are going to be talking about print advertising. So here I have a little meme from Mad Men, which is a television series all about advertising. They do commercials, they do print advertising mainly on the show. I recommend watching it since we have so much free time. I think that it'd be a great show for you to watch during this project. So, what is print advertising? Well, these are ads that are physically printed, whether they are in newspapers, magazines, whether they're on billboards or posters. They could even be in little packets you receive at the doctor's office, okay? So, you kind of see print ads everywhere. The purpose of them is to gauge interest with buyers right away. They want to strike your interest. They want to use striking imagery. They want to convey something to you. They want to tell you what you need to have, what you need to do, what you need to eat, consume, etc., just like I have listed here. Okay? So slowly we are transitioning out of actually printing advertisements and we are transitioning into the digital format. Now, many of us spend 6 hours a day on our phone, so we're not looking at newspapers, magazines. Print's dying. So you will see these ads, on your stories on Instagram, for example, you'll see a print ad come up. They're just not called print ads anymore. They're just called digital ads. So over time, print advertisement has become more and more sophisticated. But honestly, they haven't changed. Print ads or just digital advertisements haven't changed that much because people haven't changed that much. Maybe the style in which it's executed, yes. They have become more sophisticated, more metaphoric over time, but people will be people. And so around the 20th century, the turn of the 20th century, we start to see print advertisements come about. And they were mainly just illustrations at first. So let's take a look at some of the contemporary print ads. So here I have 3. So let's start with the McDonald's ad. So you can see those French fries are creating a Wi-Fi symbol. Why do you think they want you to know that there's Wi-Fi there? So you'll come in, sit down, eat, and do work, right? Then we have a Clorox ad. Makes cleanup and disinfecting a breeze, okay? Trying to make it seem, like everyone uses this, even giving that little username at the bottom there, Sydney2, it kind of makes it feel internet connected. And then here we have Stop the Violence, Don't Drink and Drive. I thought conceptually this was a really good ad and just a nice ad to show you guys. A nice little warning to put out there. Okay. Here we have the one in the middle says littering says a lot about you. Okay, so there's a Crazy Glue container and a bag of Lay's chips. So it says lazy. I love that. I think that's a really cool ad. It really conveys a message well. A lot of contemporary ads are surrealistic photography. Oops. So you will see, for example, let's look at that Pepsi can right over there. So that is an ad for Pepsi. It says, "We wish you a scary Halloween." I think it's kind of funny because they have the Coca-Cola cape on. That's very humorous. So a lot of these ads have a lot of very interesting humor put into them. So let's look at this one. Try one before you turn vegan for KFC. Okay. They're trying to be a little bit playful, a little bit cheeky, a little bit risque, playing on the whole vegan thing, which is really popular right now with the Impossible Burger at Burger King. So let's take a look at some then versus now pieces. I just think it'd be really good to look at. So let's see how advertisements have changed. So over here, on the right, we have our Lincoln ad from 1928. It looks like a page from a storybook. You wouldn't even know it's an advertisement. Now let's check out the 2019 Lincoln ad. So here you really see that branding Lincoln. Again, that logo, that visual language is really important here. It's not really focused on artistry. It's more like, this is our visual language. This is what we want people to know. So you see pricing, you see a big phone number, hierarchy of information, multiple examples of different cars. Okay, let's look at Coca-Cola. So the earliest ad we have here is the one all the way on the right, 1911. All black and white, illustrative. Again, they have kept that typography for Coca-Cola, which I think gives people that nostalgic feeling. People really like drinking Coke because of the nostalgia. Here we have, I'd like to buy the world a Coke, the 1970 ad. Really 70s, you know, it fits the culture, the typography, it fits the time. Below that, we have the Coca-Cola 2020 with those Polaroid images behind it. And then next to that, we have the 1940s illustration of the little boy and the little girl, or teen boy and girl. So let's check out the U.S. Army. I just thought this would be an interesting ad to look at. Of course, we are all very familiar with "I want you for the U.S. Army." I know we've all seen that before. That's from 1918. That's over 100 years old. So it's very, very interesting to see how relevant this ad still is. And it's no longer even really an ad. It's more of like a cultural reference at this point. And then here we have our 2019 Army ad, and this is actually for ROTC. And you will see there's a huge difference. Like, they're talking about like what you're going to gain from the Army instead of what the Army will gain from you in the 1918 ad, which is really interesting. Okay, so let's talk about advertising teams. How do you create an ad concept? So usually advertising companies will have teams, okay? So they'll have copywriters, visual artists like me, creative directors, and researchers. So they do a lot of brainstorming, a lot of discussion, a lot of throwaway ideas. You know, I'm always telling you, don't stick with that first idea. Think of another idea, a third idea, a fourth idea, a fifth idea. So they have a lot of group brainstorming going on. And they really are incorporating data and research. So you need to know your buyer, right? And, know your buyer in order to sell them things. I mean, that's what you need to do. You need to know this research. You know, who's buying this hairbrush? Who is interested in those colored pencils? Like, you need to know who you are communicating to, and you need to know where things are selling and things like that. So you need to start thinking like that consumer, okay? Definitely incorporate, strike and impact visuals. And we definitely need to see that clear message to consumer. And so oftentimes there's copywritten wording. And that's why I have the word copywriter up there. So the way that advertisements use wording, those words are copywritten, right? So unless an advertising company wants to pay another one for copywritten wording, they have to come up with their own phrasing, their own concept. Okay, so today, let's keep it simple. I would like you to choose 3 print ads from the past 120 years or so. In a document, I would like you to save those images, label the year that they are from, and then I want to hear from you. I want to hear 3 sentences at minimum about each advertisement. So tell me about the visuals, tell me about the concept. Do you feel that the concept was useful for that time? Was it effective? Here I have my example. So I chose this Heinz ketchup bottle made out of tomato slices. So this is what I said. This is Heinz ketchup bottle printed in 2019. The image shows real sliced tomatoes shaped as a bottle. The message at the bottom of the ad reads, "No one grows ketchup like Heinz," implying that Heinz ketchup is fresh and made with the best tomatoes. I think this ad is very visually pleasing and will effectively communicate to a modern buyer. So this is from 2019. This is a recent ad, and I felt that it was a really strong ad, so that's why I chose it. All right, so thank you guys. I'll be reaching out with more information soon.